Hello, everyone. Donna Miller here, and I am delighted to welcome you to this masterclass on my one-page business plan. For the last almost 30 years, C3 Workplace has been helping companies to start and grow. We do that by providing consulting services, administrative support, and systems, and we do it by providing office space out of 2 different locations. But the truth is, the C3 stands for Connect, Collaborate, Community, because we believe in the power of collaboration. We believe that when you bring people together and connect them, model for them how to collaborate, that helps them grow, it helps us grow, and that growth spills into our communities. And that's a little bit about me living my values out loud. And let me start by telling you a little bit about my story. So, opened up the company 27 years ago because I wanted to be a mom. I had a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old, and I really wanted to be present for them. So I didn't see that where I was, so I set out to create it. Now, when I opened my company, I did everything. I sat at the front desk, I answered the phones, I did the bookkeeping, I did the administrative work, I did the selling, I did the planning, I did the marketing. Can anybody relate? Yeah. So the truth is, I didn't let anyone do anything. No one could possibly do it as good as me because, that's how I was. I was a bit of a micromanager. Can anybody relate? Yeah, it was pretty chaotic. And as I just said, I had started my business to create some work-life balance. And what did I do? I was so far from it, I couldn't even see it. So first of all, in the chat window, how many of you feel like you have work-life harmony? Forget balance, it doesn't exist. I used to say integration. Give me a yes, no, or a what the heck is work-life harmony in the chat window. Come on, people, tell me how you're feeling. So I believe companies should fund the life of your dreams. So I went from being a micromanager, got a lot of outside help, did a lot of soul searching, made a commitment to change, and I did. Those are my feet. Actually, those feet are about 100 pounds ago, but those are my feet on a beach, which I do pretty much every year, minus COVID, during the winter. So I set out to build this company that would fund the life of my dreams. The life of my dreams means I feel like I'm having an impact. I lead a company that runs and now grows without me involved in the day-to-day. So you see, I recently promoted myself to Chief Visionary Officer at C3 Workplace because it's a part-time gig. I have an amazing group of people who are running the business for me. And now I spend all of my time working with a handful of business owners to help them achieve what I have achieved, which is build a company that runs without you involved in every little detail. Oh, yes, those were angels you just heard singing. So how do you get there? Well, there are some critical building blocks. And for me, number one, written business plan, which is what we're going to talk about today. So now in the chat window, yes, you have a written business plan that is not 10 years old. Blow the dust off of it. No, you don't have a written business plan. In the chat now, everybody, go, 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 go. Awesome. So here's what I believe. When you plan, you create a roadmap. When you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You simply cannot skip this step. And I believe it is your roadmap to success. I also believe it's something that you have to revisit on a regular basis. So we're going to talk about 4 pillars. The first pillar is financial foundations. Entrepreneur, Forbes, and B Plans. By the way, bplans.com. Templates for almost any kind of business plan you could need for your industry. Entrepreneur, Forbes, and B Plans all list financial challenges as one of the top 5 reasons that 80%, did you hear that? 80% of businesses fail because they do not have the proper financial foundations. And listen, no matter what you do, even if you're an accountant or a bookkeeper, it's really great to get outside perspective on this. Now, does the thought of reviewing your financial reports make you a little nervous? Do you wish you had financial reports? Is cash flow a little less than flowing? Do you have financial head trash? I work a lot when I'm consulting with people on charging what you're worth, which I talk more about. Do you wonder, will I ever retire? Forget retiring, will I ever get a vacation? Come on, everybody, we can travel again. Are you suffering from the ostrich syndrome? Which, oh my gosh, Google it. It's a real thing. Ostrich syndrome. It is sticking your head in the sand and ignoring what's going on. And trust me, that'll never work. So what should you do? Great questions. Here is how I would like to see you avoid financial chaos. Know your numbers. Work with a bookkeeper and accountant that can help you to understand your numbers. We can certainly help with that, and there's lots of really great people who can. I mentioned this before, charge what you're worth. We have a tendency, some of us, to undervalue ourselves. And the truth is, profit drives possibilities, so charge what you're worth. Undercharging only positions you to be undervalued. Also, from day one, set your rates as if you were hiring someone to do the work, because trust me, if you want to build a company that runs and grows without you involved in every little detail, you will end up hiring people. And all of that said, pay yourself first. And when we get to the one-page business plan, I will show you how that works. But you have to drive enough revenue to pay yourself first, to charge for the value that you're delivering. And the truth is, charge what you're worth and always over deliver on value. You want to create raving fans. We'll talk more about that later as well. Now, just a side note really quick. I want to encourage you to never ever fall into the trap of competing on price. You'll never lose a sale because of price with the right target, which we'll also talk about. But you want to develop a book of business with low touch, high profit clients. Trust me, that's the path to the life of your dreams. So the other thing you need to think about is when you think about financial chaos and knowing your numbers, I often work with business owners on what their business financials look like. But at the root of that, before, what is the company? How is the company performing financially? And along the lines of paying yourself first, what is your personal budget? What do you need to live? What do you want to live? What are some of your immediate desires and goals? And what are some of your stretch goals? Do you want to own a house someday? Well, you'll have to save for that. Another house, a second house, whatever it is. So avoid financial chaos, get some help on that. Now, the other pillar we always see happening with our business owners is, how do you keep the leads flowing? It's a challenge for all of us. It's those peaks and valleys, right? So, do you wonder why you're not getting more engagement? Do you have trouble finding the right prospects? Did you think your website was going to sell for you? Not happening. Are you stuck on the following up merry-go-round? Are you calling? Are you getting ghosted? Are you doing more prospecting but meeting less qualified prospects? Do you feel like you're drowning in this ocean? Well, I really do understand. And you might even feel like you're being outcompeted. But here's the thing. You want to find the right prospects. You want to find the right customers. You do not want to be working with those soul-sucking customers. Anybody have some soul-sucking customers? Give me some love in the chat. Yeah, those are those high touch, low profit people that I talked about. And I want to say this is one tip I'll give you in sales. Instead of following up, go for the no. At the end of your call, make sure it's clear what's happening next. Even to say, would you like me to follow up or should I leave it with you? Make it okay for them to say no and get off that follow-up merry-go-round. So how do you keep that pipeline full? Great question. Glad you asked. Okay. It is a matter of getting very clear on who your target market is. The more you can niche down, the better you are. I know it feels uncomfortable to narrow your market, but the truth is you can be a louder voice in a smaller market. So get clear on who you are. You want to be a big fish in a small pond. Make sure you are very clear on your competitive differentiation. Not what you think it is, but what your clients actually think it is. This is where the right targeted action creates massive result in less time. Saying no is hard, but you must. Warren Buffett, the difference between really successful people and successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. I know it's hard, but people, I'm telling you, you got to learn to do it. So make sure you're clear on your niche market, drill down as far as you can, figure out what your compelling differentiators are, and make sure you get them into your messaging. It might, I hear people sometimes say, we're a full service, whatever. That says nothing. What are you saying? We're owner occupied, we're responsive, we're creative, we never nickel and dime our clients. You'll never get a no shit bill from us. Figure out what your competitive differentiators are and make sure that's part of your compelling message. And I am telling you, where these things overlap, you see that middle part? That, my friends, is your path to a full pipeline. And it's a path to a much higher conversion rate. So here's an action item for you, because those of you who've ever seen me speak, I give homework. Here's your first piece of homework. Well, your first piece of homework was to work on your financial literacy. Your second piece is identify a couple of worthy rivals. Forget competition. There's plenty of business out there for all of us. So identify a few worthy rivals. What do they do? What are their benefits? What are they saying they do? And then lay yours out next to those, the places where you stand out, where you're not all saying the same thing. Those, my friends, are your competitive differentiators, and you want to get those into your compelling messaging. So you're going to work on your financial literacy. You're going to start to know your numbers. You're going to get really clear on who your target market is so that you can niche down, so you can figure out your competitive differences. And are you having trouble closing the sale? We've recently switched from an all face-to-face world to an all virtual world. And now we're in a hybrid world, which is where I think we're going to stay for a while. So are you getting ghosted? We talked about follow-up. Is your sales cycle getting longer and longer? Are you questioning your ROI on prospecting activities, your return on investment, on your time? Because again, when you talk about financial literacy, we're not just talking dollars, we're talking time. That's actually your most finite resource. You regularly reduce your price to close a sale. Please say it isn't so. Say it isn't so. This is something I used to do a ton of. Anybody feel like an unpaid consultant? Yeah, okay, I get that. Are you losing clients quicker than you can close them? These are all really big challenges that we can all face when we're trying to close our sales. So here's what I want to hear from you. Think about this. Why aren't you closing more sales? Is it because, and again, you can put some love in the chat here if you want, not enough prospects, not enough at the top of the funnel, not enough time? That might be a focus issue. Are you having price objections? That's a value proposition or the wrong target market. You don't even know. You don't even know where to start. And I get it. We've all been there. So your job is to prospect to the right clients in the right target market so that you can maximize your close ratio. I'm telling you, people, if you can double your close ratio, you will see massive results. But how? You're asking, Donna, how? How do I do it? Well, I have a few ideas. Can you imagine that? Me with a few ideas? Okay. How do you improve your conversion rate? In the chat window, any ideas? How can you improve your conversion rate? I wonder. Well, let me tell you. Referrals. Did I mention referrals? To me, this is the core of your business behavior. You might have heard of the Pareto principle. The Pareto principle says 20% of what you do will drive 80% of your results. Your job as a successful professional business owner is to figure out what your 20% is and spend the most amount of time you possibly can in that 20%. So you get clear on your target, your competitive differentiators, you roll that into your compelling messaging, and then you take it up a notch and you do the exact same thing for your potential referral sources. So as a business growth consultant, I get a lot of leads from other coaches. I get a lot of leads from marketing firms. I get a lot of leads from accountants. So I have a strategy written, by the way, did I mention written business plan at the beginning of this? Yes, I did. You're going to create a strategy to drive referrals. This is your 20%. Driving referrals and getting clear on what you do, who you do it for, is one of the most important things you can do as a successful professional. It is your 20%. It leads to referrals, lead to collaboration. Trust me, it's the kinder, gentler way, which then leads to strategic partnerships that drive streams of referrals. And you can create strategic partners in a number of different ways. For instance, if you belong to a chamber of commerce, I always think I want to encourage you to find one or two groups that are populated with a lot of your prospects. Don't try to be too much to too many people. But I am a fan of going deep in an organization instead of belonging to multiple organizations, and how you conduct yourself in that role is going to demonstrate to potential partners how you will conduct yourself if you do business with them. So show up, volunteer, use your voice, deliver massive value, because people will remember how you make them feel, not so much what you said. So here's an action item for you. Are you surprised? I have another action item. Okay, you have to get really clear on who your target market is, demographics, psychographics, all of that, and you'll hear more about that from other speakers, and you can certainly email me. I have lots of tools on this, but I want you to create an avatar not only for your clients, but I want you to create an avatar for your potential referral sources. Think about it this way: who are you? What do you bring to the table? Who are they? What do they bring to the table in a complementary way? And how do the two of you working together create massive value for your shared target audience? I'm telling you, people, this is the kinder, gentler way. I could go on forever on that one. Again, my main company is called C3, Connect, Collaborate, Community. I'm telling you, it works. So, rant over, more to follow. Okay, the other challenge we see very often with professionals and business owners are the peaks and valleys in the pipeline, in the finances. Do you sometimes lack focus? COVID's been hard. And even though we've been home and some of us working harder than ever or longer than ever, sometimes focus can be challenging. Is it challenging to hold yourself accountable? Have you figured out yet that doing it all does not work? Do you feel like you're on a hamster wheel that you can't get off of? Are you networking without following up because you don't have the time? Oh my gosh, don't even go, people. And are contacts slipping through the cracks? No, say it isn't so. And here, of course, shockingly, I have ideas for how to avoid this. Okay, remember I said driving business is referrals, referrals, referrals. Well, how to avoid the peaks and valleys of income and cash flow? Behavior, the right behavior. If you figure out exactly what you need to do and who you need to reach out to, and you create a behavior plan, I call it a cookbook. I literally still every day on a little notebook, I happen to use an electronic notebook, but every day I keep track of my IPAs, my income producing activities, and I write them down on my little electronic tablet, very rudimentary, but you manage what you measure. So you need to figure out what the right business development and marketing activities are for you. You will not be able to do everything you want to do, and you have to do them consistently. Even if it's just you and you're on a big project, you have got to find a way every single solitary week to spend time on business development. Maybe in your peak project times, your business development work looks a little bit different, but it cannot stop, because I tell you, people, there is an energy to doing the behavior consistently. I know that when I'm consistently making outbound calls or reaching out on LinkedIn, honestly, networking isn't really a big part of what I do anymore. It's hard for me to carve out the time for that, but I do speaking and I do LinkedIn follow-up. You will create your own scoreboard. And when you do this work consistently, you'll make calls over here, and all of a sudden you'll get this amazing lead that appears to come from nowhere. But I'm telling you, people, it didn't come from nowhere. It came from the fact that you're doing the behavior. So figure out what's your behavior plan and do it consistently, day in, day out, week in, week out. It's not perfection, but you get back in there and you keep doing it. Now, one thing I want to talk about before we wrap up here today, and I know that I've been going really quickly, and I, of course, will always be available for questions. I want to talk about leverage. I believe in creating a plan where everything leverages everything. Your behavior fills your pipeline. When you improve your conversion rate because you're marketing to the right people and you're getting referrals. Here's the truth. When you get referrals, your close ratio is probably 80%. When I get a cold lead off the internet, I would say my close ratio might be 10%. So behavior drives the pipeline, improve your conversion, and that is where you end up producing the revenue. The goal is, all right, get your pen out, people. Are you ready? Do less, better to completion. Let me say that again because it's really important. Do less, better to completion. That's your goal. That's how you build a business that funds the life of your dreams. And the moment you've all been waiting for, let me show you my one-page business plan. Okay, I said pay me first. Your personal budget, what do you need? What are your expenses that you have to cover? That means how much income do I need to produce to cover the expenses to pay me first? We're going to work to improve your conversion rate, and we're going to keep filling that pipeline. So this is an upside down pipeline. We work from the bottom up. Pay me first. What are my expenses? What does that mean I have to make now? If I can improve my conversion rate, I do my behavior, I keep that top of the pipeline full with opportunities, and I improve my conversion rate. You know, this is insanely simple. Insanely simple. That's it, people. Do the behavior, create the opportunities, improve your conversion rate. You'll produce the income to cover your expenses so that you can pay yourself what you want to pay yourself. I didn't say easy. I said simple. So you need to create your behavior plan. Now, I'm going to do a really quick sample behavior plan for, I happen to work in a business-to-business consulting area. I work with professional service firms. I work with creative service firms. So I live in the B2B realm. And you can, this may apply to you or it may not. And if you're in the B2C, think of this in terms of how you drive strategic partners, because even if you're a business to consumer marketer, your strategic partners are going to be other businesses. So you have to think in the B2B realm. Okay, networking. Networking is definitely going to be part of your behavior plan. You're going to do online, you're going to do LinkedIn, you're going to do face-to-face, you're going to find the right places to network. Have a goal. If you go somewhere, say, I'm not going to leave this networking event without 2 new contacts, whatever it is, or show up to serve, show up to talk to the movers and the shakers, the people who are speaking, the people who are organizing. So get clear on what the right networking for you is. That will drive referrals. In order to drive referrals, be really clear on what a good referral for you is. Create a one-page document. Here's what a good referral looks like for me. Feel free to email me and I will give you a sample of that. Thought leadership. This is where any B2B person needs to spend a lot of time. This is about your content, but it is also about showing up to deliver massive value wherever you are, whether that's for an organization or whether that's for a one-to-one or whether that's someone you meet at a conference. Be a thought leader, share what you know, raise up other people. Remember, Maya Angelou said, people will remember how you make people feel, not what you said or did. Make people feel like you want to help them. That's thought leadership and servant leadership at its best. And no one likes it, but I'm telling you, in the B2B world, you're going to have to pick up that 50-pound phone and make phone calls. It converts. All your online marketing, and this is again B2B, all your online marketing is about driving a conversation offline so that you can ask questions, get to understand what their situation is, and see if there's a solution. You're not going to be able to work with everyone, but the truth is your job is to create an interactive situation where you can determine, is there any way that you two can help each other? So when I'm reaching out on LinkedIn, my standard message on LinkedIn, hey, does it make sense to jump on a call and see how we might help each other? My calendar gets filled. You know, you get a little Calendly or Time Trade app, and you're booking appointments all day long. So that is a very simple behavior plan. You could put numbers to that. You track it, you measure it, you tweak it. I'm telling you, it will change your future. So before I wrap up, I want to tell you that I have created a one-page business plan workbook. It is a step-by-step guide to doing exactly what I just talked about in this webinar. You are welcome to book a complimentary 30-minute business growth consult with yours truly. Trust me, I will not try to sell you a thing. I am here to serve. If I can help you, I will absolutely do that. And we can also offer you an online version of our Earn More program. I'm happy to talk to you more about that. So with that, I want to offer you, there's my phone and my email. You can check me out at c3workplace.com or my brand new website just launched, donna-miller.com. And I would love to jump on a call with you if you feel it makes sense. And I applaud you for wanting to gather information to improve your business. And I have to say, again, this class is on the one-page business plan. The truth is, have a written plan for what you're going to do. You need it for business development, you need it for finances, you need it for marketing. When you have something in your head, it's an idea. When you put it on paper, it has power. It becomes a plan. It's something you execute. So whatever you do following this webinar, I want to encourage you to take 2 action items. Take 2 things that I said during this 30 minutes and put them into action. You decide which feels the one that you are most capable of accomplishing. If it's all too overwhelming, let's jump on a call. But I am here to tell you, I built this little company of mine from nothing. I wrote a business plan, I raised money, and I opened. And that was 27 years ago. And now C3 Workplace runs itself. I am Donna Miller, business growth consultant, and I'm looking for a few good companies to help get them from where they are to where they want to be, which is to build a company that runs without them involved in every little detail. And you can. Trust me, you can. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to hear from you. Thank you so much, everyone.